Hello, I'm Abby Clausen, and this is the About Digital Report. And today we're looking at digital life in snow country. Vail Resorts is one of North America's largest skiing companies. Its namesake facility at Vail, Colorado is world-renowned, and its Heavenly Mountain Resort near Lake Tahoe is the country's largest. And those are only 2 of the 5 resorts, 20 hotels, and 6 golf courses the company operates. It has annual revenue of nearly $1 billion and has long been a major advertiser in the national magazines that cater to the skiing crowd. But during the past year, it's also become something of a media experiment. Social media has abruptly and dramatically changed the behavior of its customers, and the company has been forced to abandon its longtime marketing strategies and practices. Speaking at the recent Cable Communicators Forum in Denver, CEO Rob Katz discussed how this has been a year like no other.
I mean, it has literally been a year where you've had almost 2 atomic explosions. I mean, one in the world of the economy in terms of forcing everyone to rethink how they're operating their business, how they're connecting with their customers, how their customers are looking to purchase products and services. And then you have this other explosion in media, which has turned the entire business upside down, and that obviously we're really not in the media business. We purchase media obviously to advertise and to connect with our guests. And as a purchaser, we have looked around and said, wow, everything that we thought of in terms of how we will use media a year and a half ago is totally different today. And all of a sudden, now there's this entire new medium that no one really has a roadmap for, and that's social media. Video sells our product incredibly well, and it's a huge differentiator for our vacation versus almost any other vacation you're going to take. People, especially folks who are interested in skiing, literally it's one of their most fun things, especially at the beginning of the season, is to watch ski videos with snow flying all over the place. And we just like I think it's been called in the food industry, we call it ski porn. Because it's all this, flying snow and people jumping off cliffs and doing, nothing that any of our guests could ever do, of course. But again, gets everybody very excited. One of the issues for our company over a long period of time, for the whole industry, has been, so we had no way to actually get this video out there. Over the last couple of years, that has, again, totally changed. Because now video is easily deliverable over the web, through an email, on social sites, and all of a sudden we can actually advertise our product with what I'll call kind of the ski porn video, which is the crazy video, but also showing video of what was going on the mountain in that day. So that has changed for our business as well. Then you add the economy onto that, and essentially our business went from folks who were deciding 4 or 6 months in advance that they were going to take a ski vacation. They were planning it, they were talking to their friends, they were making sure they had the right hotel rooms, making sure they had their ski instructors, all of that. Last year, the booking window went from literally 4 to 6 months to 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We had properties from Christmas to New Year's that went from 50% occupancy to 80% occupancy in the week before Christmas. That's totally unheard of. One of the concerns is, even when the economy comes back, is this real-time decision making is not going to go away. Because of all of what's going on in the world, that the cycle times have really shortened, between the economy changing so quickly, business changing so quickly, social media, all of a sudden everybody is making their decisions much quicker. A lot of our ad budget had gone into long lead print magazines, skiing, outside, some of the men's health, Condé Nast Traveler, all of that. And we actually spent some time with a lot of these folks about 6 to 9 months ago, talking to them about the fact that we couldn't do business the way they had historically done business. And the reason was very simple. It wasn't that their readership was changing, because we weren't even really paying attention to that, though maybe their circulation was down. It was that they required us to commit to an ad 4 to 6 months in advance. And I think that's one of the most important things about social media, is that it has changed your ability to get a message to your consumer, to your guest. And so what happens for us is, we didn't want to run an ad in Condé Nast Traveler that showed one thing, only to find out when it actually showed up on the newsstand that that wasn't the message that we actually wanted to give to anybody anymore, because the economy had changed. And that could go both ways. It could be that we want, today it might feel like we want to offer great deals and great bargains, and it may be in 4 months the economy has picked up even further, and that's not the message that we want to send. We actually literally reduced 80% of our print budget this year, and took all the money out of that and are essentially sitting with it in a reserve fund, so to speak, as we're now going into the season and going to start marketing. Last year, when we didn't know what the economy was bringing, the media landscape had clearly changed, but it hadn't exploded like we see it over the last 6 to 9 months. We had spent 80% of our dollars by this day last year. So when it came time to actually talk to people when they were making their decision about where they were going to go on vacation a week or two before Christmas, we had no money left. Now, what it's done for us, though, and certainly in our industry, and I think you're going to see it in many others, it has really compressed even the executive decision time needed to try and mobilize your message out there. And so what we have done is literally taken our PR group, our traditional advertising group, and our social media group, and they now work hand in glove on almost a week-by-week message calendar, almost like a political campaign, watching what's going on around us, watching what our competitors are doing, constantly changing the message that we have, and then putting it out there, in a coordinated effort, so that we actually, when we're talking to the media, we're also sending out, social media messages. We're also sending out traditional media messages, whether that's in newspaper, because that still allows us to act on a real-time basis, or display ads on the web, or search engine marketing, on Google, Yahoo, or any of the other search engines. And so it has taken some time, though, for our company to really embrace this, because we really lived in an industry that literally made a decision about what message we were going to send to our consumer and then lived with it for the entire season. And now we have circled all the way back to every week is a different message to get out there. I think the media that really we have pulled back from the most, when you look through it, is the more brand glamour ads that you would run, 4 to 6 months in advance, in terms of making those commitments in publications like Condé Nast Traveler, Outside, GQ, Men's Health, Skiing, those magazines, where we started to feel like that, and quite frankly, if you pick up one of those magazines today, what you'd see is our competitors are in there, and we're not, for our 5 resorts. I don't know if anybody here actually saw the movie Braveheart, but the analogy that we've been telling people is there's a scene where the other side is attacking, and Mel Gibson is telling his troops, they're hold up, hold, wait, they keep coming closer and wait. It's a little bit how we feel right now, because we're watching some of our competitors out there in advance, and we're seeing all these ads, and we're not out there. But what we know is that we've got the arsenal to make the blitz, and ultimately it's a bit of a game of picking when you think your consumer is going to make their decision and when you need to have your brand and your piece in front of it. So again, long story short, long lead traditional media, I think they're struggling. I really do. I think that, and I think they, my hope is that they turn it around. I think it's to our benefit to have we want a good a good medium to advertise in. So I think that's important to us. But we can't wait for that change.
And that's it for this About Digital report. Thanks for being with us. I'm Abby Clausen at Advertising Age in New York.